everyone. Thanks again for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be talking about The Companion by Katie Allender. The Companion was the Book of the Month winner of August 2020. I know it took me so long to get to it, but I finally had the time to really make time for it. I finally got a hold of a copy. And, I have to say that I was very happy with this story. So, the novel follows Margot. She is the only survivor of a tragic car accident that took her parents and sisters. Unfortunately, that's left her with survivor's guilt. She has nightmares almost every night. She wakes up screaming. And, she's now left in kind of a group home until she is taken care of by the Suttons. Now, John Sutton, he was a friend of her father's. Her father actually saved his life when they were in law school, so he's always felt indebted to him. So he's just like, you know what, let me take care of her daughter. This will be a great way for me to pay back his spirit, since I can't really pay him back now for saving my life. So he takes her to his isolated mansion, and there Margot discovers that she was really, taken by the whole family to be their daughter's companion. Their daughter is very sick. She's pretty much, she has to be spoon-fed. She's in a wheelchair. She got very sick, and now she's not really talking. Like a parasite. The idea is a parasite, made her really sick, and caused some neurological damage. So, it's at the house where a lot of strange things start happening. John's hardly there. He works a lot. And Laura is very, very old-fashioned. Someone starts writing "go" whenever she's asleep on her walls, in black. And Agatha also starts to act very strangely around her. So, it's a very interesting, creepy novel. I definitely have to say that Allender, she did a great job creating the atmospheric tension in the story. I was creeped out. I was listening to this book as an audiobook, and I'm at work, and I'm cleaning theaters because I'm a manager at a movie theater, and AMC no longer has janitorial, so now it's up to, the staff to do it, right? So I'm ahead, I'm in a theater, I'm by myself, and here's something. Movie theaters, when the building is empty, make a lot of creepy noises, so I had to turn off this audiobook when I was cleaning, because I'm like, I can't, and the thing is, I hate being in the theaters without any sound on. But I'd rather be in the creepy auditorium that makes creepy sounds than listening to a creepy book while there are creepy sounds going on in the background, making me turn my head over my shoulder like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. That was literally me. But that just shows you how good the atmosphere of this story was. It creeped me out, and I like a story that creeps me out, because I was expecting this novel to creep me out. When you pick up a book and you're expecting yourself to be a little freaked out, and then you're not freaked out, it's kind of disappointing. And I was a little worried the story wasn't going to creep me out as much as I was anticipating. Because I'm like, this looks like a really good creepy story. It's a very gothic, and I love gothic literature. I studied gothic literature for a full year, two separate semesters. I studied Gothic literature at Emerson College with Professor Orem. He's an amazing professor. Loved it. So I love Gothic literature. I think the tension, the atmosphere, the setting, it's so very alluring and creepy and romantic at the same time. And that's the kind of feel I got from this story. So I did think that it was really well done, especially because the author makes the reader question the reliability of Margot. You know, she does have PTSD. So you're often wondering, you know, is she a reliable narrator or not? You know, I got a lot of The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson vibes. I got a lot of Crimson Peak vibes. I got a lot of The Keep vibes by Jennifer Egan. These are the vibes I got when I was reading the story. And that's what made it a strong story. To have that creepy, dark, haunting atmosphere drive the story forward as Margot is trying to navigate this new home situation that she's in with this unsettling woman, Laura, and their ill daughter, Agatha. I will say this. As the story does begin to unfold, about, halfway, 3/4 of the way, you're kind of just like knowing how it's going to end. And I kind of did know how it was going to end. I'm like, oh, she's totally guilty. She's totally guilty. Like, she's totally crazy. I'm like, this person's crazy. I was right, but I wasn't disappointed that I was right because there were some good plot twists near the end. But there are lots of hints. There are lots of elements that give it away, but they do make the tension of reading the story higher. They do add to that rising tension. They do add to the pace to make the story really engaging. And that's what I really liked about it. I was just like, I love it. I was really blown away by that. Now, as for the dynamics themselves, I do think the character dynamics were done very well between Margot and Agatha and Margot and Laura and Agatha. I think the dynamic between the women was well done. However, the relationship between Margot and Agatha's older brother, I felt like it needed more development. He comes home from school, and at first he doesn't really like her, Margot, because he doesn't know why she's there. He thinks someone's breaking into the house, and she overhears a conversation between him and her mother. Him and Laura. Honestly, he's kind of forgettable. I don't even remember his name. I didn't even think to write it down in my notes because, again, he wasn't that engaging as a character, and I didn't think the story needed the romance. I felt like the romance kind of developed out of nowhere. I didn't really understand it. I was flummoxed by it because it just went too fast. There wasn't really a strong foundation for their relationship to flourish. So it's clear it was just a plot device to create some more tension for the story. I don't think it was necessary, but it wasn't completely off-putting. Again, it wasn't necessary, but it wasn't super terrible either. I could have done without it. I was rather indifferent to it, to be honest with you. But, that is what it is. Not every story is going to be perfect. Not every story is going to be perfect, unfortunately. But, overall, this story, I do think, was well written. I think it was executed very well. I think the author was on point with their structuring, with their pacing, with the atmosphere and that rising tension. the author just did an amazing job of creating the story for the reader to be engaged in it and to be freaked out by it at times, to the point where the ending was just like, what? Good. Awesome. That was me. I was like, heh, you got what was coming to you. Yeah, that's my evil cackle. But yeah, it's a good story. I did really enjoy it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give this story, The Companion, 4 stars, 3.5, a soft 4, because again, I don't think the romance was necessarily necessary, and it does become ever so slightly predictable, the ending, but again, it's not off-putting. I do think it was well done. I do think the overall story was engaging from beginning to end. Now, if you're going to purchase the book, I do recommend purchasing the book off of bookshop.org. A percentage of all proceeds do go to supporting your local booksellers. If money's tight, please support the author by checking out the book from the local library and leaving a review. Leaving a review is the best way you can support an author. And I hope you all will continue to support me by liking this podcast, sharing it with all your book-loving friends, and subscribing to it. You can also support me by becoming a supporter on Anchor. There's info on that in the link in the description of this. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.